Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist, and I'm joined by.
Me.
Oh, there it
So
is.
in total, how many episodes of Sir do you think there've been with me?
Oh
I think
God,
I
with
think one
you.
day you should. I think one day you should just start from the beginning and just count through them
Oh
all and just
God.
see how many of the ones where.
Hmm.
Oh, and then maybe ones with Connor, but that won't be as
No,
much. There will
it
only be
won't.
a select few. But maybe you should see that. Just start from episode one and just count. Just be like, just maybe just tally it down and then come back to me and say, right, I found out how many you're in of the 700 episodes I've done. And this is how many. It'd be funny to see how many. See if I've even been in half of them.
Yeah, like I
Um,
say, there's got to be somewhere. It's got to be at least 100 episodes with you in them at the very
oh, I
least,
think
right?
over. Yeah,
Yeah, surely.
it'd be It'd be fun to do. Maybe that's something we could do in the future, like
Maybe.
a sort of like a watch of some episodes of us together
Ah,
talking about all things. Maybe
yeah.
like a let's watch or something like that.
That'd be a good
Or you
idea,
could even do it
actually.
on your propagandist. Here you go, a propagandist of some of the ones that we're together.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd
and
sort of have
just
to
react
think.
to it.
Yeah, either on Propagandist or possibly, I don't know, maybe here just because that's where the Sir stuff is. But
Yeah,
yeah, we could do something like that. I think classic Red and Phil moments in Sir.
yeah. See what we could find. That would be fantastic. I think there'd be
Yeah,
some interesting moments because we talked about loads of things.
indeed.
Um,
There'll be some good conversations that we could look back on and think, what the fuck were we talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
I think that definitely be something for the future we should do.
Yeah,
Um,
certainly, Phil. Certainly.
how's life going?
Well, life's doing all right at the moment. Enjoying the weekend while it's here and all.
Yeah, well, we've got a super. It's an extended weekend because it's bank
Yeah,
holiday,
indeed.
which is really weird because we've only just had like Easter,
Yeah.
the Easter 4 days. But I think the reason it's come so quickly to this bank holiday, I think for some reason this year Easter's been quite late.
It
It has
has.
been quite late. I don't know why it's been so late this year,
Yeah.
but it's been, and that's why it's because it's never I've never usually found it's been this quick to the first May bank holiday.
Yeah.
So I think for some reason, yeah, Easter's been a bit late, and then obviously we've got another one at the end of May.
Yeah, we have.
So
Flipping two bank holidays in 1 month.
yeah, you do get them, and then it's not, and then it's August, and then it's Christmas after that. But I think it's about time because we've had a bit of a break from it. It's been a hot minute since we've done our famous questions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think it's time for question time again. We like
Question
doing some of
time.
these from this site, which is this is the site which I usually use. It's got around 400, and there's usually quite some good ones in here.
Yeah.
I've also got a question myself, but
Oh,
I might leave that till the end.
oh, dearie me.
Um, I believe that probably we have done some of these in the past. In the
Oh, yeah.
past, we have. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which ones we have. I saw one that we had there.
Yeah.
Um, okay, we will start with. No, we've actually done a whole episode on this before. I've just
We
seen
have.
if you could have lunch with one person from history, who would it be?
Okay.
Well, we've done that because we did the ideal dinner date.
Yeah, we did
We done
actually. That's
previously,
right.
yeah, so we'll skip that one.
Indeed,
Um,
we shall.
okay. Now here's an interesting question, which is actually based off the film Purge.
Hmm.
Have you? Do you know what the Purge is about?
The Purge. Is that the film where the story is something like all crime becomes legal for 24
For
hours?
24 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, if you had 24 hours to do whatever you wanted in this country, what would you like to do? So it's essentially like the Purge, yeah. So all crime is now legal,
Indeed.
and it's got no. So if you could do whatever you want, and it's similar to the Purge. Do you think you could commit a crime, or
I mean,
what's it?
speaking to my actual self, the answer would probably be no. Knowing me, I'd probably just like shut myself away in the day and just play video games, even though I'd like to think I'd do something exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem is though that someone could easily just come up to you and just rob you,
Yeah, they
and
could.
then just stab you to death.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Indeed. But if you're asking the General Red persona, he would probably say, "Oh yes, I'm going to use that opportunity to take over the United Kingdom."
Particularly now. But let's say it's not like the Purge. Let's say you've
Yeah.
got 24 hours to do whatever you want, but it's obviously within legal limits. What would you do then?
Okay, within legal limits. Right. So let's say can do whatever you want within legal limits. I was going to say, like for example,
You've only got 24 hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
could I let's say go on Steam and download a fuck ton of games for free or something. That's a really boring answer, actually. That.
Well, you could do like a big like 24-hour live stream. You've got all the time in the world. So if you've got 24 hours to do whatever you want, that means you don't need to go into work.
True.
You don't need to do anything like that. You can just do a massive one, and you could just download the like some streaming software.
Yeah, could do something like that.
And then just get through as many games as possible.
Indeed. I mean, that's a possibility.
Steam library.
Yeah. I know, I need to crack through some of the short games in my Steam library, especially the horror and just random game stuff that I've got.
Yeah.
You know, and if
you've got quite a few, haven't you?
I have. I've got loads. Indeed. You know what is actually on offer on Steam at the moment? I've been thinking about picking it up. Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh yes, of course. The sequel.
Yeah. After the absolute nightmare that was the Blind Forest because of how challenging it gets later on, I've had, I think, enough of a rest from that to seriously think now about maybe I should pick up the sequel. Will of the Wisp?
Oh, that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what it's like. I've heard it's really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, thing is, I started actually watching not too long ago. Gab Smolders on YouTube, her playthrough of Ori and the Blind Forest, and you know, all my Red Salt aside, Red Salt aside, at how challenging it gets in the later levels, it is a good game. It is very well made.
Oh, yeah, it was. I remember when I joined you for a few.
Indeed, yes.
As well. I'm trying to think now. If I had 24 hours, then so what would I do? I could do whatever I want, obviously within legal limits. I might try, because I want to try going on like canal boat.
Oh, canal boats, yeah.
Yeah, we were going to do that as a family, but I think we sort of didn't have time and stuff. But it'd be great to actually see what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, going on a canal boat and just going down. It doesn't have to be too long, but just going down and then maybe just like bashing out a load of games as well.
Yeah.
Would be the best thing. Best thing for me to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that was the thing. And then if it was like the Purge, I would kill everyone in sight.
Of course you would.
I'd just leave the house with a kitchen knife and just be like, right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go and mess some fools up, eh?
Yeah.
Oh crap! Didn't mean to do that. I meant to use
that. Okay. Here's another interesting question.
Yeah.
What is the craziest thing you've done in school?
What is the craziest thing I've done in school? Oh God! This is the kind of question that makes me realise how boring I was as a kid. Because I'm trying to think, like, what would be the craziest, like, real zaniest thing I ever did when I was like a kid or a teenager?
That you may have done in school. I mean, it doesn't have to be unbelievable out of this world crazy, but even just something that was a little bit odd that you did, or something, something a bit wacky.
Yeah. Let me think about this.
Shall I give you some time to think?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so for me, well, apart from I've mentioned this story many times, the one where I nearly went school down by trying to make stir fry and I couldn't make stir fry.
Yeah.
I've done that one many times. But there was one occasion where it was in a history class when it was about year 8 or 9 or something, and everyone kept thinking that our history teacher was gay, and there was just with one of the other history teachers, and he wouldn't ever like reveal it. I don't think he was, because I think he had a wife.
Yeah.
But and he just went. Someone in the class just went. So what do you and this other teacher have in common? And he went, "Not. We're just history teachers. We're just history teachers." And I don't know. It just came out of my head, and I just went. No, I think you're a little bit more than that. And the whole class just erupted in laughter.
And he looked at me
as just like, oh, ooh. And I don't. It's just like your brain sometimes going before your mouth. There,
yeah.
Like, where the heck did that just come from? I thought it was going to be, in serious trouble. It was going to put me in detention, but no, he found it funny as well.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
No, the teacher found it funny.
That's good to know. Yeah, because I feel like some teachers would absolutely erupt at you for that, and then some would just be incredibly chill and would actually say, you know what, that was very quick of you.
Yes. I think that's. I'm just trying to think, is there any other crazy things that's happened while I'm at school? Not particularly to me. really. That was
Yeah.
the main things. That and obviously burning the stir fry. Good
Yes.
God, that was a nightmare. Have you
Aye.
thought then?
God, so I'm like thinking, and I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't have I've never had a moment I think like yours there where I've just said something, or there's just been like a perfectly comedic moment where someone was doing something and I just came out with the perfect one-liner for that situation. I don't think I've ever had anything like that. I'm like trying to go over, say, like primary school, like school nativities. Did I ever have like a really weird
Yeah.
role or anything like that? And I'm like looking back on it. I remember obviously when I was in reception class and I had the misfortune of being the back end of a reindeer in a school play
Wow,
for
that's
Christmas
amazing.
once. And then like I can remember some of the other roles. Obviously, like sometimes they did traditional nativities where I was a shepherd once, for example. Um, I remember once, for some reason, I can't remember what the deal was with this nativity, this school nativity in primary school, but there was once one where my entire class, including myself, we were chimney sweeps. I don't know why. I can't remember what on earth
Chimney
that
sweep. Maybe
school
it's like
nativity was.
yeah. Well, that's some pretty things there.
Yeah, we were chimney sweeps, and we sang the song that the chimney sweeps in Mary Poppins sing.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
That one. Yeah, we sang that song for some reason. I mean, that's not, like I said, it's not wild or crazy. It's just one of those weird little things
Yeah.
that schools sometimes have you do at that age.
Yes, there is moments like that when you're in plays and you have like weird moments. I think I've been in a few plays, but I think for me, and that's also to say I was not like trying to be derogatory or anything when I was young then, but I wasn't like, because like I said, I like you, that mentality that, like I said in the last one, everyone loves who they love and everything.
Yeah.
And I hate it when people are
Yeah.
nasty towards people because of
You meant it
sexuality.
humorously, yes.
People who are nasty towards each other need to just
Chill
because of their
out.
sexuality need to chill out.
Yeah.
Just need to chill out and just because they've been so persecuted in the past, they shouldn't be happening like that at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so
and,
I know that question of just wild things I've done in my youth just makes me realise that compared to a lot of kids, my youth was probably kind of boring. I mean, I say boring, just like I wasn't really the sort of kid who would do wild stuff because I was very quiet, that kind of kid.
Yeah, I was sort of quiet as well.
Indeed. Well, on to the next question,
okay.
I think. Yeah. Phil is perusing the article.
I'm just trying to find one that's that's really good.
Find an interesting one, yes.
Okay. Would you be willing to move to another country without your friends and family?
Ooh.
And live?
You know what? I would say potentially for the right job. If it's a really good job that could really advance my career or would have real sort of substantial benefits to it, then potentially, depending on the country that it requires me to live in.
And it's not. If you think about it, it's not too difficult to make friends unless you're shy.
Exactly.
You can always make new friends.
Yeah.
And things like that, and you can still keep in communication with your family, and your family can come over and visit you.
Indeed.
There's loads of things where things have happened like that. Family come over to visit, or you can go back and visit.
Aye.
It's not like you can't. And you'll make new friends. It might be difficult for if you went to a country where English is not the main language.
It could be more difficult there, yeah.
Well, countries with that's fine, but you might be able to learn. I mean, for me, I'll be fine, obviously, in German-speaking countries.
Yeah,
since
exactly.
I speak German. So, Germany, France, not France. Well, actually, no, the border between that, well, there probably some German-speaking, but yeah, mostly it's Germany, Switzerland, Austria, parts of, I think there's a place in Argentina.
Yes.
Where they speak German.
I think that might be true, yeah.
But yeah, so that'd be okay. And obviously, you'd be fine if it was like one of the English-speaking countries like America, Australia, the Caribbean areas. Some of the Caribbean areas, English is the main.
Canada.
Yeah. Well, if you went to a different country where English not obviously most people in the world do speak really good English, but you'd probably get to the point where like people are going to live in another country when they come back after living there for a few years, they actually become fluent in the language
Yeah.
because you're there every day in it. That's
Indeed.
the thing. So if you decided went to go and live in Italy, and you lived there for a good few years, when you'd probably get to the point where you'd be able to understand Italian fluently.
You would. Yeah, you'd pick it up because the necessity of living in that country would pretty much force you to have to pick something up of the language, so that you can actually just exist on a day-to-day basis.
And it's not like you're getting your friends and family taken away from you.
No.
You live in a country. You're never going to see them again ever. No, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, it's quite an interesting prospect, isn't it? I think I would probably do the same as well if it was a good place, if it was nice, and I obviously had the ability to speak the language and things like that. Yeah, it would certainly be an interesting one.
Because I know, like, colleagues in the institution where I work, there've been people who've come through our department who've ultimately gone on to positions abroad, all over the world. And I was like, some who've gone to places like Singapore or Estonia or other places as well. It's kind of crazy where you can end up.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Right. What about? Do you have, or what are your phobias?
Phobias. Okay. So if we're sort of speaking phobia in like kind of the real proper like medical sense of something that you're so afraid of that it would be completely debilitating if you're exposed to it to the point where you just freeze up completely, then I wouldn't say I have like a true phobia, but there are definitely some things that make me more uncomfortable than others. Like for me, sometimes I can be a bit weird with heights. Occasionally.
Don't you like me then?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of heights. Not a fan of heights at all. No.
Indeed.
I really don't like. That's vertigo, isn't it? Or what is acrophobia? I think it's acrophobia.
Acrophobia, yeah.
Yeah, because agoraphobia is the one is the fear of open spaces.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so it's acrophobia. Acrophobia or vertigo is the fear of heights. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I don't like it. Like things like aeroplanes, I'm fine because you can't really see properly. But like a hot air balloon, no. And there have been times when I've been up like really tall places, like things like when I've gone up the Eiffel Tower and looked down. I thought a bit, did feel a bit queasy.
I think. Do you remember when I talked actually an episode of So Being Hunted about things that make me a bit sort of anxious? And that was that was a while ago.
I
talked about a story there where me and my family, it was not long after I'd moved down south and my old folks came to visit me. We took a visit to a place called West Kennet Long Barrow, which is basically a site where there's like old Iron Age burial sites, and you can actually go in one of these. It's on top of a hill, and so this hill, as we climbed up it, it's a very open sort of hill. There's like no wood cover or anything on it, and for some reason when I was like on top of it, sort of looking down with just like nothing around me.
Oh God, yeah, now that is
something
creepy.
about that just did really. It didn't like. I wouldn't say it scared me. That's the wrong word, but it definitely made me feel a bit unsettled, kind of, because like it's sort of like you're standing on the top of that hill. And there's just like nothingness above you, nothingness around you, and I think it kind of reminds you of like how small you are in the grand scheme of things. You just
Did the voice
feel a bit
go
like,
jump?
Not that, but I had this weird sudden like intrusive thought while I was up there: is imagine if gravity suddenly stopped working and you started floating upwards into the sky. What would you grab onto? And it's like one of those things that makes you think it's so random and weird, but then you think that actually sounds kind of weird. That does. I don't like that. Yeah. So heights get me a little bit like that sometimes. I think the other time when I had a little bit of that sort of, not phobia, but a little bit that slightly unsettled feeling was one time when I visited the Spinnaker Tower in Portsmouth, and it's not obviously entirely open, the Spinnaker Tower, but there is like one of those glass floor things in it that you can walk on, and I just was like, no thanks, I don't want to walk on that.
Yeah.
Even though it's perfectly safe, but...
No, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, that'll give you a bit... There's all sorts of phobias out there that many people have. Things like water and sunlight and spiders is the big one.
Indeed.
Spiders the massive one. But spiders don't affect me. I don't... Honestly, whenever I see a spider in the house, I just get really pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, for God's sake.
I'm not too bad with spiders, actually. Usually I just leave them alone and, they're fine and all that. But, speaking of other things that do make you a bit unsettled, sometimes... Okay, this is a real niche-specific one I think I've talked about it probably before to an extent on my channel, probably in Sir. But again, it's not like a full-on phobia, but it's related to one that people talk about on the internet, which is that whole like submechanophobia thing, like submerged man-made structures.
Oh yes, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
But for me, it's very specific. It's not like pictures of submerged structures in the ocean. It's kind of like submerged structures in things like narrow, enclosed waterways and rivers. Because usually things like rivers and canals and stuff like that is because the water moves. Well, sometimes the water can obviously be fairly sort of brown and you can't really see the bottom and things like that. And there's something about like partially submerged structures, or like when you see pictures of like pipe openings in rivers and things like that, that something about it just gets me a bit. And it just like it not full on scares me, but just makes me a bit sort of anxious and unsettled.
Uneasy. Yeah, I think uneasy is the right word.
Yeah.
I think there is like a megalophobia, isn't there? The way it's like the fear of like massive objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't like. There's that one. The fear of where you see like little holes. Trypophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't like that when you see like little holes and things.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's. And then there's some strange ones like the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
That one. Very weirdly specific.
Well, there's one that people thought was a phobia, but it's actually made up. The fear that somewhere a duck is watching over you.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
I think it like a blutoblodophobia or something, but it's like I think it's actually made up.
Yeah. Doesn't really exist. There's no actual documented case of it.
Viewers, what are your phobias? Have you got anything? It would be interesting to hear that actually. What they are.
Indeed. The phobia of Phil talking.
Oh well, that's okay. Well, if that's what they have, then I better shut up forever.
Dearie me.
Okay, what have we got? Let's have a look at these questions. Okay, that's intriguing. Would you rather have, just like a would you rather, 20 hobbies, okay, or a single passion?
Ooh.
The problem I find with if you had 20 hobbies, it might be difficult to keep doing them all.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like going from one to the next and one to the one, and you could leave things unfinished. So say if you were like, you're into painting and drawing, then you start doing a painting and then you stop like mid-flow and start going on another one of your hobbies and then completely forgetting about it. That's the thing that I think.
That is an
for me, I think I would focus on one single like passion and just be at it. Like for me, I like music making, so I just stick to that and make my own music and focus on that, and then not just go halfway through it and do another project. Maybe it's okay to have like 2 or 3 projects, but if you like painting or drawing or crocheting or reading, and then you suddenly just stop reading a book and go start painting, and then you completely forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably with you on that one. I think for me, probably the passion would be something like story writing or something. I was about to say maybe like gaming for a second, but I thought, nah, that's predictable.
I think nearly everyone's hobby nowadays is gaming, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
Yeah, gaming is the ultimate hobby. Yeah, but there are some people out there who don't game.
No,
don't think it's like, for example, my sister's not really a gamer. And still more people now are getting into gaming.
Yeah.
Because it's like a massive entertainment industry, biggest in the world. But yeah, story writing is an interesting one. Yeah.
Bit different.
But imagine having 20 though. That might be a bit over the top.
Yeah, it might be, because thinking like the time you have in a week, and depending on what your hobbies were, some of them are the sort of hobbies that may require you to really set aside good blocks of time so you can get into them and all that. Like art stuff, usually, if you want to be sort of doing that, usually you have to set aside plenty of time in a day for it. Like 20 hobbies, would you have time for all of them in a week?
Well, no. I don't think you would, especially if it's like a convoluted hobby.
Yes.
Things like painting and stitching and all that take a lot of time and effort. So you got to think of that. Next question is, what food? Actually, you could have 2 parts. What food should taste better than its appearance, or I'd say appearance / smell? Because I know one straight away there. And people. For me, obviously, I love it, but for people, it's really different. So coffee. Okay. The smell of coffee, a hell of a lot of people love, because the smell of coffee's got that lovely aroma.
Yeah.
However, some people who come to taste it really don't like it. Really don't like the taste of coffee.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing is coffee, because coffee does have a great smell, and the people who don't like its taste even admit that the smell is fantastic.
Yes.
So it's funny it's coffee, because some people think the smell is utterly fantastic, but someone who comes to taste it just like, ugh, no.
Yeah.
Now obviously that's sacrilegious to my ears, because
Indeed.
coffee is. I honestly don't think there's any blood left in my veins.
No. Is powered by coffee, is our Phil.
Powered
Coffee
by
goes
it.
through his veins every day.
Every single day. But yeah, what do you think? Food that should taste better than what it looks
Food that
like,
should
or
taste
how it
better.
smells?
Let's see about this now. Yeah. So, yeah, actually, there is one I can probably sort of think of, and some people may wonder what I'm kind of getting at first a bit here. But, so, when I used to live back up north many years ago, particularly when I used to still live with family, my obviously mother always used to cook, and one of the meals that she was actually decent at cooking at was fish pie, right? But
Good old fish pie, yeah.
yeah. So obviously with fish pie, traditionally, you put potato in it, but then there came a point where eventually she actually decided to suddenly start using sweet potato in it. And since then, it's like regular fish pie with normal potato. I've never looked back on fondly, and I've just always thought that that's a food which, once you've tasted the sweet potato version of it, you don't go back, because you now look at it and think, God, just regular potato in fish pie is just so boring. And it looks tasty, but just need to jazz that flavour up a bit so it can compete, basically.
Yeah. No, that's. I can see what you think on that one. Yeah, that's an interesting one with fish. I used to not be a fan of fish pie. I didn't like the. I don't know what it's in. Is it like a parsley sauce? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a fan. But yeah,
You can
it's
mix
all right.
it with a bit of like tartar sauce as well, for a bit of tang to it if you wanted as well.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, what food should taste better than its appearance? Because suppose if the appearance is, it depends if you have one that its appearance looks beautiful, but when you taste it, it's this is shit.
Yeah, it doesn't really taste of much. Indeed.
I'm just thinking, sometimes I suppose it can happen because with some cakes can look really cool, the way they're designed, but then some you might not like. You might think, oh, this is a bit. I suppose like things like coffee cake could be one. Carrot cake. There's things like that which.
I'd say probably certain as well, to add to that, certain substitutes for meat used in obviously like vegetarian or vegan cooking.
Oh yeah.
Some of them, like, they look fine, but obviously they don't taste great. I mean, not saying that all vegetarian and vegan food tastes like shit. There's actually some real good ones out there.
Oh yeah, jackfruit.
Yeah, jackfruit.
Oh, jackfruit's jackfruit's amazing because it tastes just like, because it's supposed to be the vegetarian version of or vegan version of pulled pork, and it tastes like it. It's astounding.
Indeed.
It's astounding. It's jackfruit.
Yeah.
But it's really tasty.
Because I was thinking particularly example of things like corn mince, which it's okay, but I don't know if maybe this is part of the problem. Maybe I just wasn't cooking it in the right way. Maybe I just overdid it or something. But the texture of it obviously sometimes can come across as a bit rubbery. And so it's just one of those things that, it looks like it'll be fine. Then again, I will hold up my hands and say, for all I know, that could just be me not quite cooking it in the exact correct way, perhaps that you meant to.
Yeah, I mean, when you're cooking, it's a lot of trial and error.
There is, yeah.
You've got to think of as well. One interesting one, which I suppose its appearance doesn't look, there's that fruit. Obviously, I've told you before, it tastes exactly like chocolate pudding.
Oh,
so
yes.
Well, I think it doesn't look that appealing.
Yeah.
But supposedly it does taste like chocolate pudding. So actually, that's.
Yeah, there's like another fruit, isn't there? Which is the one that is supposed to taste absolutely fine, but it smells terrible. Is that durian?
Durian.
Yeah, durian.
It's banned in many places because of that.
Indeed. Yes.
Okay.
Question time, please, Phil.
Okay. No, actually, just.
Oh Lord, he browsing.
Okay, what is one ability that you believe everybody should possess?
Oh, God, I mean, there's several I could potentially name here, but as like
So
a
that make it fair to everyone, wouldn't it?
yeah. I mean, if we're talking about sort of practical skills, some candidates that I would suggest, learning to swim is definitely one of them.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
We look, people. Yeah, I keep touting that because
Yes.
people need to learn how to swim.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're ever in a situation where you're out somewhere and you get capsize on a boat, for example,
Yeah.
you need to know how to swim.
Or if you're like just walking through the countryside and you like slip and fall into like a freaking river or something,
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
You just need to know how to swim and all that, so that way you're ready for it.
What I would say as well, to have a good sort of running ability.
A good running ability, yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone should be able to. And I know it's difficult for some people,
Yeah.
especially elderly people, but to be able to have the ability to run, to get out of the way of things,
Yeah.
to get would be really good. Just
Yes.
imagine if everyone had that ability, it was fine. No matter how elderly you were, you'd be able to run really fast and get out of the way of things. Yeah.
I would also add, as another possible thing that really it'd be good for everyone to have. Again, this is something I've probably talked about before, so I won't bang on too much about it, but critical thinking skills are always great in general for life, especially in the era of internet misinformation and silliness and all that.
Common sense.
Yeah, common sense.
People
That
need
too.
that. A lot of people are lacking in that, unfortunately.
Yes.
A lot of people. What about the ability to? Because for some people, I know it's difficult, but the ability to sort of realise about the.
Sorry, you cut out a bit then. Just say it again.
Oh,
The
different. Sorry.
ability to realise what now?
So the ability to understand about unhealthy foods. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't overdo. Yeah, unfortunately, people just don't understand and overdo it, and then obviously they get overweight, and that's why there's these.
Oh, cut out again there, Phil.
Oh,
Yep. Sorry, yeah.
I think Skype crashed again.
Oh, did it? Is it Skype
Yeah,
crashing?
maybe
Is that what it is? Yeah, you're sounding a bit
Yeah,
robotic.
but you've got these. Am I better now?
Yeah, a bit better now. Go on.
Right. So just about these, these obviously these obesity epidemics, isn't there,
Yeah.
in many countries? So sort of getting that. I know you have there's like shows that go over about healthy eating, but some people that just don't understand that you can't be surviving on consistent Big Macs and
Yeah.
KFCs and things. You have to. Maybe you're not a fan of like salad items or vegetables, but
You have
you
to
have
take
to get them in there.
You do.
And so, okay, maybe there's some vegetables and salad and fruit that might not be tasty, but there's loads that are like, one of the ones that many people seem to love is watermelon.
Yeah.
Watermelon gets a high reputation.
It does.
So try things like that. Even apples are fantastic. Even if you
Absolutely.
want something that's okay, if you want a fruit that's got quite a bit of sugar in it, if you want to get that way, banana.
Banana, yes. That's obviously like
But-
a healthier form of sugar because it's not like ultra processed or anything like that. It's
It's
natural.
all natural. Yeah, there are many things. Even like even if you want to get them flavoured a bit, because like for me, I love beetroot, but I get sweet chili beetroot,
Yeah.
and it gives it extra flavour. So you can have extra flavour with the vegetables, which make it. You don't have to just have like if you don't want, you don't have to have just a plain beetroot. Go for the sweet chili beetroot. There's all these different ones. There's even I've seen in the supermarket apple and balsamic vinegar beetroot. You see, so there's these, and you can have things with others like various, like you can have carrots flavoured with, if you like carrots with a little bit of honey glaze on it.
Yes.
Okay, maybe there's a little bit of added sugar there, but
Still makes it nice, and you are getting the vitamins of the carrot and all.
we just need to understand. Obviously, it's fine. Once in a while, go for a Domino's, have a Big Mac, go to KFC, go to Burger King. Get a takeaway.
Yeah.
But can't be shoving it down like there's no tomorrow.
No, we can't. Yes. That's definitely a greater awareness of eating healthily and all that is a good one.
And coupled with that, exercise.
Yes.
Exercise
That's
vitally important. No matter how even if you're eating, right, you're doing fantastic. You're eating your right fruit and veg. It's no good really unless you exercise because you need that to maintain
Yes.
the because you might because you still have those calories in there. Even though you're eating healthily, those calories in that food is just, if you don't exercise, it's just sitting there in your stomach and not being used up.
Ability to have time to exercise and all that is a good one actually. Restructure society in a way where people have the time to look after themselves.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of it done in COVID, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
Like there's that famous TikToker. What was his Joe? What's his name? Joe. He did like loads of fitness classes for people, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know.
What was his name? Joe Wicks.
Joe Mama.
Wicks.
Oh, never mind. Joe Mama.
You're trying to do it. We're trying to be clever there, were you?
I was trying to be clever. Yeah, I was trying to be hip and down with the kids, Phil.
How rude. Right. Well, I think the last one we'll do is the one that I was thinking of.
Okay.
Which was, but my question I had was an interesting one, and it was what sort of viral sort of trends can you remember that have actually come from social media?
Ooh.
Because the funny thing is, now you may have seen in some supermarkets, all the rage at this moment seems to be this Dubai chocolate.
Oh yes.
Now I went into the one of the petrol stations where they had these Dubai chocolate piled up, and apparently they are ridiculously popular, and it was all because of a TikTok trend.
Okay.
It was a TikTok trend of people discovering this Dubai chocolate, and now people are importing it. That's why you see them everywhere, and they are so popular. Like the guy at the petrol station said, they got a new batch that came in on Wednesday, and when he came back to work on Friday, they were all gone.
Oh, not heard of this myself. Dubai chocolate.
Yeah, it came from TikTok, and because it's coming from Dubai, the import taxes are crazy. So do you know how much it costs?
Go on, hit me.
It is a bar, right? So it's like the Normside Dairy Milk bars, the sort of 100-gram ones.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's 10 quid.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
10 quid for a chocolate bar. It is really expensive but it's because there's heavy import taxes on it because it's coming over from Dubai.
Yes.
But it's said to be really quite tasty as well. It's like a sort of hazelnutty with a sort of other, because it looks green inside.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very, very popular. People are buying it off the shelves. But it's one of those things where you buy it because of TikTok, because it came as TikTok, but you never buy it again because it's expensive. But yes, it's come from TikTok. I can't remember. I think it may have been a few channels that started trying it out.
Yeah.
And they said it was it's amazing. Obviously, everyone follows it from there, and it happens with a lot of things. Not just TikTok, but things that go through Facebook or
Yes, they do.
Twitter, and then they become absolutely viral.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, God, any sort of specific, I mean, obviously what you've outlined there is a product. I'm just thinking with this question, does it have to be a product or?
No, it could be a meme or something like that. Because the other ones, they were about the ALS.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of that one. Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
The ice bucket challenge. Well, I got there first, twatted.
But
the ice
bucket. Jeez.
Did you hear that? My God,
who the hell just called me a twat?
Fucking hell, that was rude.
You have to track that person down and bop them in the brain box.
Throw a load of ice water over them.
Yeah.
God, yeah, I remember that. That came. What social media did that start on?
I don't.
Was it Facebook?
Remember. Maybe Twitter.
Facebook.
I'm not sure.
But that was wow! Did that hit off?
Yeah, I mean, at least that was for a good cause, though.
Oh yeah,
for charity and all that.
For motor neuron disease.
Yes. No, but the other one I was thinking of as well was that back in the day, the flipping Harlem Shake and all that. Everybody bloody doing it.
Yeah. No, but where did that come from, though?
Where did it come from? I don't know.
Because it came from the actual track was the artist's name was Bauer, BAAUER. That was it. That was his track, that Harlem Shake track. But I don't know where it's. I don't know what. Yeah, but I think that's one that came from social media.
Yes. Or at the very least, was very much amplified by social media to the nth degree. Yes.
So, something else that was very recent that's viral is, but it's all obviously Elon Musk being an arse, and you can see with all his Twitter, the things he's doing to Twitter.
Yes.
The things he's doing to Twitter, and he decided to rename it to the third to last letter of the alphabet.
Trying to be cool. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed.
But with all these things, like he locked Twitter so you can only have like premium accounts.
Yeah.
And the premium accounts you have to pay like
Indeed.
monthly. Like, okay, Elon Musk, right? You do what you want to do. Everyone, and obviously he absolutely is. He adores, wants to get into bed with Donald Trump.
Yep. Well, I don't have a premium account with X, but I don't really care because I don't need any special features on it. I just need to be able to share a couple of videos every day, and that's all I use it for, pretty much.
I think his reputation is so bad that even people are regretting or don't want to buy the cars, the Tesla cars. Yeah.
Well, the problem is like he kind of gone off the deep end in certain respects. As
I know.
Musk in recent
it was okay
years.
before all this, but then he was dipping. He was in the shallow end, but my God, he's gone all the way to that deep end.
Yes, yeah. It's just like, he sometimes his outbursts when he gets mad can just be so erratic and just ridiculous. It's like a frigging teenager throwing a tantrum. It's just, good lord,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's the. I'm trying to think what else have we got that just hit the world by storm through social media means. Just thinking, Facebook.
Yeah, it probably goes to show how I don't really sometimes keep up to date with all the memes out there and things.
Well, I know that obviously, when MySpace was a thing.
Oh God,
Tom.
Oh God, MySpace Tom.
Yeah, he was all just because of his, just because he was obviously the owner of MySpace, but it's all because of his profile picture. Yeah, that was funny. Just him there.
He's still there to this day. Legend has it he's eternally trapped in the MySpace back rooms or something.
Oh God! Imagine a MySpace back room. Now that would be interesting.
Yeah. Eternally
of
there.
course, we can't forget many of these ones. YouTube is obviously a form of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So loads of things came up there, like Rebecca Black.
Friday.
Yeah, and then she made a sequel, didn't she?
Saturday.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Sunday.
Indeed.
Oh dear. I think she eventually. I think they did interview her, and she just laughed it off. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Of course, there's tons of YouTube memes and stuff. We won't go too much into depth because I remember we did an episode. Yeah, back when. When was it? It was called Remember Numa Numa.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, that was when we did it. We did a massive discussion on memes then and favourite memes and stuff like that back then.
Other one I was just thinking of, like one of the musical scene was obviously Gangnam Style in 2012, whenever it was.
Good God,
yes.
That was the first. That was the first YouTube video to hit 1 billion views.
Yeah.
There is no other that's done that as well. I think as well, many things that the Yogscast have done have obviously been in the world. Like obviously people have been wearing shirts and done all sorts of different things. And even when they went to like the Minecon, they quoted like Yogscast stuff. Yeah. That's how popular they became. And that was all through social media. So that was just crazy. But yeah, you need to have a look in if you go to your nearest supermarket, you will see this Dubai chocolate.
Yes.
It'll just be sitting on the side there. But yeah, it's really expensive, but supposedly it's really quite tasty. But I'm sorry, I'm not shelling out 10 quid for some chocolate, no matter how tasty it is.
Well, it better be some damn good chocolate, just saying.
Yeah.
Yes. It better make me eat it and then decide that I never want to go to any other chocolate ever because none will ever compare to the taste of that one.
All from Dubai.
Well,
it's a very expensive place, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the thing about it.
Well, shall we wrap up there then, Phil?
Let's leave it there for today.
Okie doke. Well, thanks for joining me then.
Hey.
Yes, that. So, as usual, social medias, propaganda channel link, etc. down in the video description for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed, a like is of course always appreciated. But than that, it's the two of us signing off now. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Violence.
I love the parts of the violence. They're very, very tasty.
Yeah, they're part of the, I think it's
Swizzles, that's the one.
Yeah, they also do these drumsticks. Yeah, the drumstick.
Oh, yeah.
Funny enough, there's those little sort of hard sweets on the stick. And they've obviously now got the bag sweets and soft ones. You can get them all different flavours. You get them the same. And then there's like multiple flavour. There's a sour apple and cherry.
Yeah.
And there's also a one, I believe. Oh yes, they did a special one for the minions.
Oh.
a blueberry and banana.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a special promotion for the minions.
Oh, right. That makes sense, yeah. It'd be those flavours in particular.
Because they are, yellow and blue.